Well, it's time to make fun of our favorite lock manufacturer just one more time, Master Lock Corporation. Here we go. This is a brand new Master Lock. If you look on the back, you can always see the model number. This is a 930. Brand new, as I say. Here's the key. Here's the bitting, by the way. You can see radical bitting, and you're going to discover very quickly that the radical bitting for these model 930s, it's its only defense against us getting into them. Works perfectly. I would like to point out that when you turn this key, there's a pretty significant spring tension. And then, of course, you have to pull the hasp open. But once you do that, the spring tension completely dies. But then, of course, when you put it back in, you're going to get it back. Now, Master, of course, I think by now everybody knows, they bought American Lock Company. And they copied them basically with this model. In fact, if you put them side by side, they're the same in every dimension. Of course, the internals are different. One difference, though, is when you turn over here and look at the side, for some reason, and I can't explain it, in American there is no machined slot to fit the ball bearing in, but for some reason Master has a machine slot so they can put the locking ball. The ball is a little bit oversized, so I guess in that respect you could say that Master Lock Corporation has larger balls than American. But anyway, that's maybe perhaps a over-analysis. Lock this thing up. Now, we've talked about a lot of different techniques for these locks, and anytime you have a lock with low tolerances when they manufacture it, when you have no security or very few security pins, or when you have a similar bitting, you can usually rake it. But as I said, we don't have a similar bitting. We have a pretty radical bitting here, so we're not likely to be able to rake a lock like this. And of course, that's their intention. That's their only defense against somebody getting into them. So what we're going to try to do here, we could single pin pick it because these rarely have security pins, but that's no fun at all. Instead, we're going to try to do what we call bitch picking. We're just going to take our hook, we're going to put it in, and we're going to randomly poke, like a monkey trying to kill something with a stick. We're going to randomly poke at the pins. Now, there's only 5 inside of here. So there's every chance that we'd be able to bitch pick it much faster than we'd ever be able to pick it pin by pin. Because of the low tolerances here, pin by pin, sometimes it's gritty, it's a little difficult, but this technique, it usually works for me pretty well. I can get in a large number of locks very quickly using this technique. So let's give it a shot, shall we? What I do is I usually put just a little bit of tension, moderate tension on there, and then just randomly jump in there and start hitting those pins. Just hoping that I'm going to get the right possible combination. And I'll go up and down the stack, I'll go up and down that stack about twice. If I can't get it, I'll reset it and I'll go back and try it again. And of course, bam, there we are. That's how quick this bitch picking can work. Even on a lock designed to be sold as a high security lock. Because when you look at the pricing on these locks, the price for this cheap, low quality, very low security internal, it's about the same as what you'd pay for a much higher quality with a much better internals. And I just can't understand why they, in good conscience, can continue to sell these things. So let's go ahead and let's bust it open and just confirm what we have inside of this thing. Okay, there's our core. We can all wrist this junk away. Okay, I've never opened this, so give me just a second. Your flat tip. These new ones, sometimes at C-clip, the first time they come off, it's kind of stiff. It's probably the hardest, the toughest part of the whole lock right there. Okay, let's see what we got here. I don't want to screw this up. Okay, we're going to turn to here. See if we can't do this without spilling all the pins on the deck. And of course, it's not going to cooperate. No, we're going to lose them. Let's try it. Try turning it like that. And make sure our top pins don't fall out. And I think we finally got this. Again, this is probably the hardest part of the whole lock. Alright, let's set that aside for a second. Okay, you can see we have in the cylinder there's a slot for 6 pins, and again, probably a cost-saving measure, ill-advised, security-wise, by the way. They decided not to pin up that sixth one. So let's just, I'm gonna just dump them right here. Let me take the camera and just shift a little bit so I can try to keep everything a little bit centered for you. Okay, regular pin, normal pin, normal pin, normal pin, normal pin, and I'll give you odds normal pin. Okay, done with that one. We got a normal pin. Let me get my tweezers here. Get everything. Oops. Okay, we got another normal pin, looks like. That spring out of there. Oh, we're springing stuff all over the place here. I think that came out. Okay, we got a... I think I put him there by accident because here I found the key pin right there. So there we go. We look. So let me zoom in a little bit and you can see what we're looking at. All right, so for a pretty high dollar lock, they've given us all normal pins. You can see it'd be pretty easy to rake or perhaps bitch pick. And then all of the other pins are, for some reason, all just normals. And I can't understand why they would even consider doing this. So for a few pennies, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild this lock. I'm going to replace all of these pins. They're the same size as the American. I mean, it's the same company basically, except I'm going to use all security pins. So the next person that comes across my master lock, I'm going to even keep the same keys. So even if they catch a glance at the keys and they assume that it's a master, and then they try to pick it, they're going to have one heck of a surprise waiting for them after we get this thing hardened up. All right, well anyway, thank you for your time. Everybody stay safe and stay legal.